We're jumping right in today because we are pulling back the curtain on something that is practically invisible, yet incredibly powerful. We're going to completely deconstruct the hidden forces of psychological manipulation. Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever agreed to do something you really, truly didn't want to do? Or maybe you felt totally frazzled and disoriented mid-conversation, just suddenly doubting your own abilities? Well, if you're not in your head right now, chances are you were being manipulated. Whether it's through emotional triggers or highly persuasive words, manipulators literally exploit your emotions and distort your reality to gain control. So today, we're breaking down the 13 laws of manipulation and the famous psychological experiment that proves exactly how easy it is to trick the human mind. Section 1. The conformity loophole. Okay, let's dive into this. Why is the human mind so incredibly susceptible in the first place? Well, back in 1957, psychologist Solomon Asch discovered a massive, built-in loophole in our brains: conformity. It basically makes us highly vulnerable to group pressure. To prove this, he set up a study where he put one completely naive participant in a room with a group of actors who were secretly in on the test. They were all shown a visually simple line matching task, basically comparing a line X against lines A, B, and C. Now, it was blatantly obvious which lines actually matched, but one by one, the actors all confidently gave the wrong answer on purpose. The whole point was just to test the naive participants' resolve. So, what was the result? A shocking 75% of people conformed to the group's obviously incorrect answer at least once. Think about that. 3/4 of people stared right at an undeniable truth, but went along with a lie anyway. Why? Mostly because they didn't want to be ridiculed, or they just assumed the group was somehow smarter than them. The terrifying takeaway here is that our human brains have a hardwired desire to fit in. And this exact desire is the precise loophole that manipulators use to pull your strings. That brings us to Section 2, 13 Laws of Manipulation. And this brilliantly illustrates the manipulator's secret playbook. If conformity is the loophole, what exact tools are they using to exploit it? Well, these 13 laws group perfectly into 3 main categories of attack: deception, emotion, and control. Let's start with deception. Law 1 is hide your intentions. This is where they use lies and concealment to basically stay 2 steps ahead of you. Then there's Law 7, selective honesty. They'll feed you half-truths to disarm you while purposely withholding the rest of the story. Law 8 is pretending to be a friend. They get close to you just to gather personal information that they can use against you later. And Law 10, playing dumb, feigning innocence or ignorance so they can completely avoid responsibility or extra work. Next up, we have the emotion tactics. Law 2, attention-seeking. These folks create drama just to validate their own ego and force themselves to be the center of your world. Law 3, behaving emotionally. We're talking loud, obnoxious, or hysterical outbursts meant to embarrass you into giving in. Law 4 is playing victim. You know the type? No matter how bad your day was, theirs was 10 times worse. They use guilt to drain your sympathy. And Law 11, pointing the finger. They literally never assume responsibility, and they always have a scapegoat ready. Finally, we hit the control laws. Law 5, taking credit. They'll delegate all the work, but swoop in right at the last minute to take the lion's share of the glory. Law 6, depend on me. They make themselves completely indispensable so you feel like you honestly can't survive without them. Law 9, non-committal. By withholding their support or approval, they keep you bending over backward just trying to please them. Law 12 is flattery, simply telling you what you want to hear to butter you up so they can cash in a big favor later. And finally, Law 13, controlling your decisions. This is that subtle pressure, like making you feel bad for your choices until your entire life is practically dictated by them. Moving on to Section 3, spotting the red flags. Seeing all 13 of those laws laid out is intense, right? It's a lot. But now that you've seen the playbook, how do you actually spot these tactics in real time? Well, you want to build a protective shield by looking out for 3 primary warning signs: body language, digression, and gaslighting. First up is body language. Now, people can easily lie with their words, but facial expressions and postures, those often reveal the exact messages they are trying so hard not to say. If someone is praising you, but you notice their jaw is totally clenched, pay close attention to that. Their body is revealing their true, hidden intentions. The second red flag to watch for is digression. If they suddenly steer a serious conversation completely off topic, trust me, it's no accident. They are deliberately trying to leave you confused and distracted because they know for a fact they can't win on the actual merits of the argument. So, the crucial point here is our final red flag, which is gaslighting. If a fake friend or a partner frequently tells you things like, oh, you're just imagining it, or you're being way too sensitive, they are actively trying to make you doubt your own judgment. They want you questioning your own reality, and it is incredibly destructive. We've exposed the conformity loophole and the 13 secret laws used against you. Now that you know the playbook and exactly what to look for, take a really close look at your relationships. Ask yourself, who is pulling your strings? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep those shields up, and I'll see you next time.